Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss one of the most widely known theories of motivation in organizational behavior, that is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. This theory is important because it helps us understand what drives human behavior, both inside and outside the workplace. As future managers and HR professionals, you must understand that employees are not motivated just by salary only. People also seek safety, belonging, recognition, and growth. Through this lecture, we will connect Maslow's theory with practical workplace and HR applications. So let us begin. Understanding Maslow's hierarchy of needs, a timeless theory of human motivation. Let us begin with a simple question. Why do people do what they do? Why does one employee work mainly for job security while another is driven by achievement or recognition? Maslow's theory gives us structured answer to that question. This theory is called timeless because although workplaces have changed, people have changed, employees' expectations have changed, but the human needs have not disappeared. The forms may change, but the desire for survival, security, relationships, respect, and self growth continue to shape behavior and motivation. Maslow's hierarchy of needs and introduction. Now let us see the introduction of the this theory. This is one of the most influential theories in psychology and organizational behavior. It was developed by Abraham Maslow to explain human motivation by different needs. It also suggests that human needs are arranged in a hierarchical order that we will see later, that is from lower order need to highest order need. It also says that lower level needs must be satisfied before higher level needs that become important. It also helps us understand what motivates people in both personal and professional life. It is widely used in management, human resource management, education, and leadership. It assists managers in designing effective motivation and employee management strategies. It explains why individuals behave differently based on their unmet needs. It provides a framework for understanding employee satisfaction and performance. Maslow's hierarchy of needs is one of the most influential theories in psychology and organizational behavior. It was developed by Abraham Maslow to explain human motivation and to show that human needs are arranged in a hierarchical form. According to this theory, lower level needs generally demand attention before higher level needs become important. This is why the model is very useful in management, human resource management, leadership, and education. It helps us understand employee satisfaction, engagement, and performance. It also explains why different individuals behave differently depending on which needs remain unmet in their lives. So, from a managerial point of view, this theory reminds us that employee motivation cannot be approached with one size fits all method. A person worried about salary or job continuity will respond differently from a person seeking appreciation or personal growth. So it tells us about that. Now we will see the different level in this hierarchy. As we all know that in Maslow hierarchy theory, there are different leaders. That it starts from the physiological needs and it ends with the self-actualization need. So it is shown by this pyramidal structure. So now we will explore every need in detail. The pyramid shape is important because it suggests progression. The lower level are more fundamental, while the upper levels become stronger once the basic concern of life are reasonably addressed. In classroom terms, if someone is hungry or insecure, it becomes much harder for that person to focus on achievement or personal excellence. So we can understand here that if you are hungry or you are not like you are thirsty, you cannot think about your success or the safety part. So first you need to meet the physiological needs. And what are the physiological needs? Physiological needs are like food, water, shelter, sleep, and air. And if these are not met, other concerns become secondary. Now we will go to the safety need. What about the safety need? Safety need includes physical safety, financial security, health, and protection from harm. So, in a work context, this may mean stable income, secure employment, and a safe environment. Once we are done with the physiological need, we are satisfied with the physiological need. We we require the safety need. And what is that? That is our financial security, health security, and the physical safety. Now we'll go to the third, that is social need. As we all understand by this term social need, it means that you should have a relationships, friendship, family connections, and the feeling of being part of a group. As we all know that we all are a part of a society, we can't be isolated in a society. We all are a part of some group. Some people are like they are belonging to some relationships, friendships, family connections. So it's all out there. So it means that if you are in a society, you need to fulfill all those needs to be remain relevant in the society. So human beings are social by nature, so belonging matters deeply. Now we will go to the fourth need, that is esteem needs. Esteem needs means self-respect, confidence, achievement, and recognition from others. People want to feel capable, valued, and respected. Think about that. If you are working in an organization and you are not valued, you are not respected, what would you feel? You would feel bad about it. You may leave that organization. So you need to satisfy that you are respected, you feel confident, and there are some kind of achievement and recognition from the working place. You need to have all those things satisfied, then only you will be able to be working at that organization. So these are the very important needs for a human being. Now we will go to the finally the self-actualization need. This is the highest order need and it refers to realizing one's full potential, pursuing creativity, personal growth, and meaningful goals. And this is where a person seeks fulfillment beyond just survival or approval. Once you have fulfilled all the lower order needs like physiological needs, safety needs, social needs, esteem needs, what remains left? Means that there you want to realize that your full potential, you want to pursue creativity, innovation in your life, you want your personal growth, and you want to achieve the meaningful goals at this level. So these all five are the hierarchy of the Maslow need theory. So these are the explanation of this 5 level needs. As I have already discussed in the previous slide, this physiological needs. What are those needs? These are essential for the survival. That is food, water, shelter, sleep, and air. And without fulfilling these other needs, some become irrelevant. And the others are safety needs. Safety needs are what? That is seek safety and security. This includes physical safety, financial security, health, and protection. Now the social need, like relationships, friendships, family connection, and a sense of belonging. STEAM needs achievement, confidence, recognition from others. So it's about feeling valued and respected at the workplace, whether you are living in a society or you are at the workplace. Self-actualization, where you desire to realize one's full potential. You want to pursue creativity, personal growth, and meaningful goals. So these all are the explanation of the 5 level of needs. Now, this this talks about that why Maslow's hierarchy is a timeless theory. As we all know that Maslow's hierarchy of need theory is still used in organization. So now we will discuss about why it is a timeless theory. So why has this theory remained relevant for so long? The reason is that it captures something universal about human behavior because people are driven by needs and these needs influence their motivation, decisions and performance. Even though organizations today are more digital, global, and complex than in the past, employees still want security, belongingness, recognition, and opportunities for growth. So that is why the Maslow's theory continues to use as a simple but powerful lens for understanding behavior. So, in other words, we can say that technology may evolve, but the human side of work remains central. Managers who ignore human needs usually struggle with morale, engagement, and retention. So that's why this theory is considered a timeless theory. Now, this section deals with why this theory is important because it explains human motivation. It helps managers understand employee needs, improves productivity, supports employee well-being, and the usefulness in HR and leadership. This theory is important because it explains human motivation in very practical way, right? And it also helps managers understand employee needs and that improves the productivity because if your employees needs are fulfilled, they will feel motivated to work for the achievement of the goal of the organization, and it will improve their productivity, and it will also ultimately it will improve the productivity of the organization. And now the improves supports employee well-being and make better HR and leadership decisions. Obviously, if your employees are satisfied and their needs are fulfilled, it will help them to feel to support in their well-being because they will be mentally satisfied, physically satisfied. So it means that so it will improve their productivity and it will also be useful for the HR and the leaders. So, in management, as it is written here, in management, it helps leaders understand that salaries, job security, recognition, and workplace belonging are not minor concerns. They directly affect motivation and productivity. If you are a if your employees are getting salaries on the time on a regular basis, they are satisfied by the amount of the salary and their job are secure. They also getting recognition at the workplace, and they also have a good relationships at the organization, so they will directly affect their motivation, and it ultimately leads to the productivity of the organization. So So that's why Maslow's theory remains one of the most valuable frameworks for understanding human behavior. Now, application in the workplace. Now, we will see that what is the use of this theory at the workplace. And if we go by the hierarchy of the needs, first is physiological. So, what could be at the workplace in physiological form? It means that providing fair wages and comfortable workspaces. These are the basic requirement at the workplace, because if you are getting good salary and your workspaces are comfortable, then you will feel motivated to work towards your goal. So these are the basic requirement for any employees at the workplace. That's why it is called the physiological need. Once these needs are fulfilled, then only an employee can think about the safety need. And what is the safety need? Safety need at the organization? Safety need means offering job security, safe working condition, and benefits. So these are the things. If they are fulfilled, then an employee can feel safe at the workplace. What is that? Job security, safe working conditions, and benefits. Now, we'll talk about the social need. What is the social need at the workplace? It means that having a good relationship with your supervisors, with your peers, with your colleagues, and that encourages the teamwork, and that also induce the positive work culture at the organization. If an organization has a toxic work culture, it will affect their employees, and they will start leaving the organization, and your organization will not survive for longer time. There will be high attrition rate. So if you want your employee to survive in the organization, you need to do the teamwork for them, and you also need to have the positive culture at the organization by building a good relationship, by building team at the organization. Now we will go to the STEAM needs. What is that? It means that recognizing achievements and providing opportunities for growth. If you want your employee to be satisfied, you also with the kind of salary and having a good positive culture, work culture with safe working condition, you also need to provide them the better opportunities for growth, like providing them training and development session, and also reward them for their achievements. So these all are the things that an employee can feel self-esteem at the organization. So these needs are to be fulfilled by the organization for the employees. Now we will come to the highest needs, that is called self-actualization. So you can think about that. What could be the self-actualization at the organization? It means that career development. Once you are like stable in the organization, what else? It means that your career should go in some direction. It should not be stagnant. There should be some development in your career, and there should be continuous learning. You should keep learning about new things, new skills at the organization, and that's the from there your career will start progress. So these all are the needs that is there in the workplace, and this is the application of the Maslow's theory at the workplace. And this through this, and a supervisor or a manager of the organization can take a reference from this theory to provide a stable environment for the employees. Now we will see the role of HR in meeting employee needs. So this slide takes the workplace applications one step further by focusing specifically on HR. HR action at each level can directly address employee motivation and satisfaction. Fair compensation addresses physiological needs, health and safety policy address safety needs, and engagement activities support social needs. So, similarly, rewards and recognition programs address STEAM needs, while training and career development support self actualization. This means HR is not only an administrative department, it is a strategic function that shapes employee experience across all levels of need. So, from an HRM perspective, Maslow's model helps design policies, practices, and systems that are more human centered and effective. So, HR action at each level, like for training and career development, rewards and recognition programs, employee engagement activities, health and safety policies, fair compensation. So, these are the actions that can be taken at each level of the organization, and these are taken by the HR, human resource department. Through this, an employee can achieve the target, can achieve the all the needs to be fulfilled at the organization. Now we will see the need versus modern workplace examples. These are the examples, like if you talk about the physiological need, it means that your salary should be competitive enough to attract the good employee, right? And safety needs, it means that health insurance, if you are providing your employee health insurance plan, then it will be a safety need. For social, like team building activities, you need to organize some team building activities at the organization to build the teamwork at the organization. Steam needs means recognition programs, self-actualization, career development. So these all are the modern workplace examples that you can provide to your employees, and that could satisfy their all these needs. Now, criticism and modern views. So, like all other theories, Maslow model has also some limitation and the criticism. One major criticism is that human needs do not always follow a fixed order. It means that people may seek esteem or purpose even when some lower level needs are not fully satisfied. It may happen that people who are not like who do not have the job security, but still they can feel, still they can see steam needs or other needs. So it is not always that it should follow the a fixed order. A second criticism is that cultural differences influence priorities. It means that what is considered most important may vary across society. People from a different society, they may have a different need for different sections. So this theory has also limited empirical evidence in strict scientific terms. Fourth, people can pursue multiple needs simultaneously rather than one after another in a need sequence. So, as management students, you should use Maslow as a helpful framework, not as an absolute rule. It is conceptually powerful, but reality is often more dynamic and complex. So these all are the criticism of the Maslow hierarchy needs. Now we will conclude this lecture by saying human needs drive behavior and motivation goes beyond money. Different employees have different needs, and HR as well as managers must respond to those needs at multiple levels. When needs are addressed effectively, employee performance improves. The final message of this lecture is simple. Employees perform at their best when they feel secure, valued, and empowered. It means that all their needs are fulfilled, then only they will perform at their best. So, that insight is what makes Maslow's theory so relevant for management and HR practices even today. Now, at the end of the lecture, I have put an activity for you, like rank what matters most to you. For example, if imagine you are starting your first job, so you have to rank these needs according to the importance, like high salary, job security, friendly team, recognition, and learning opportunity. Once you rank them, compare your answers with Maslow's hierarchy and ask yourself which need level activity shows what motivation is personal and which need level matters most to you at this stage of your life. And this activity shows that motivation is personal, contextual, and often linked to where we currently stand in our own need structure. This is also a helpful, useful discussion for managers. If employees value different things, how should organizations design motivation systems that are flexible and inclusive? So, with this activity, I will conclude my lecture, and in the next lecture, we are going to discuss other theories of motivation. Thank you so much.